Imagine walking into like a massive multi-level mall atrium.
Yeah.
You look over the railings and you see just hundreds of screaming fans, right? Phones are held high in the air. They're chanting a singer's name. The lights are blinding. The energy is completely infectious.
Oh, totally.
And it looks like absolute undeniable superstardom. Like if you are a music executive or an artist manager and you're watching that shaky cell phone footage on your timeline, it is incredibly tempting to just bang the gavel and declare, we've made it. The market is officially conquered.
Oh, yeah. It's the dream scenario.
Right. But in the modern hyper-connected music industry, that visual spectacle might just be a beautifully orchestrated mirage.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because Gwyn Dorado just completed her highly anticipated Manila homecoming on August 23, 2026. And the central question that we really have to rigorously test today is did this public stage and fan meetup actually demonstrate Korea to Philippines fan market conversion? Or are we simply looking at verified participation and promising, but ultimately unproven demand signals? Welcome to Future_Music Deep Dive.
It really is kind of the ultimate illusion of the modern music business, isn't it?
It is.
Disentangling that fleeting emotional high of a live moment from the actual sustainable long-term momentum of a career.
Exactly. And that is why we are drawing a very hard line in the sand today.
Right.
We are treating this as a direct sequel to our earlier pre-event analysis, but we are looking strictly at the post-event evidence from that single day, August 23, 2026, in Pasay City, Metro Manila.
Okay, so just the 23rd.
Just the 23rd, and we have two verified activities on the record. First, there's an afternoon public stage appearance at the Korea Travel Fiesta, or KTF, held at the SM Mall of Asia Music Hall.
Yep.
Second, a much more intimate fan meetup later that evening at Metro Café over at Met Live.
Which is such a fascinating setup, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you have this daytime, public-facing, really high-foot traffic mall event, right? And it's immediately followed by an evening, private, closed-door fan gathering.
Right.
In theory, if you were a marketer or like an independent artist listening to this, that is a textbook two-stage structure.
It really is.
It's basically designed to act as a conversion funnel. So you capture the casual attention in the afternoon, and you pull it into deep, dedicated fandom by the evening.
In theory, yes. But here is where I need to establish the analytical framework for this deep dive.
Okay.
We are going to relentlessly separate observation from inference.
Right, good.
Because observation is what the video footage and the audio transcripts actually prove. Inference is what excited fans or even the event organizers might retroactively claim about the success of the event.
Oh, the classic spin machine.
Exactly. We are not here to invent attendance numbers.
No.
We aren't going to guess what the organizers were feeling behind the scenes, and we definitely aren't going to assume the funnel worked just because the events happened sequentially.
Right.
We are here to look at the tape.
Let's do it.
So let's start with the public stage at the Korea Travel Fiesta. What exactly did the tape show us?
Well, what the tape shows is basically a masterclass in deliberate, calculated performance curation.
Okay, unpack that.
So thanks to the high-quality uploaded footage from the fans, which was great, by the way, we can break down a verified 5-song set list.
Right.
And this set list tells a very specific strategic story about Gwyn's current identity as an artist who is operating between two distinct cultures. I mean, she didn't just walk out and sing her greatest hits.
No.
She opened with Losing My Heart, which is her original soundtrack, or OST, from the Netflix drama My Royal Nemesis.
Which is a very smart anchor.
Super smart.
It instantly legitimizes her. Like, you associate her voice with a premium, globally distributed television product right off the bat.
Precisely. It establishes her Korean industry credentials right out of the gate. But then she immediately transitions into Rebirth.
Oh, wow. Now, Rebirth is a highly specific choice because that is a direct nod to her time on the Korean competition show Sing Again 4. It's a very particular era of her career. Why bring that up in a Philippine mall?
Well, because you have to remember how audiences consume media now, right?
Okay.
A huge chunk of her Philippine fan base didn't discover her through, like, Spotify playlists. They discovered her by watching clips of that Korean television show on YouTube or TikTok.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So playing Rebirth provides this narrative continuity. It basically says to the audience, hey, I am the girl you voted for, the girl you cheered for on your screens, and I'm right here in the flesh. It bridges her television identity with her live music identity.
That makes a lot of sense from a psychological perspective. It totally rewards the early adopters who watch the show.
Exactly. It's a reward. So after establishing that foundation, she pivots the energy entirely. She moves into I Want You and then follows it up with Light Up.
Right, light up.
Now, Light Up is crucial because it has this fantastic up-tempo, self-affirming pop energy.
Right.
It proves versatility, you know.
Yeah, because if you only sing sweeping ballads, you really risk losing a mall crowd.
Oh, 100%.
Their attention is constantly being pulled by food courts and retail stores.
Yeah, someone drops a tray, someone's yelling for a taxi.
Right. You need tempo to hold a transient audience.
You really do. And then finally, she closed the set with a cover of Beautiful, the iconic song from the massively popular Korean drama Guardian, which is also known as Goblin.
Okay, wait. I have to step in right here with a massive blinking red light clarification.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Because if you are an analyst relying on machine-generated auto captions from some of these video uploads, you might be very confused right now.
Oh, the caption debacle.
Yeah. Those AI captions are notoriously glitchy, especially when dealing with live venue acoustics, background cheering, multiple languages, all of that.
It's a mess for AI.
Right. So during the transition to the final song, the auto captions on several major uploads scrambled the audio completely. And they explicitly claimed she announced she was singing a song called Purple Love.
Which sent a lot of people down a very confusing rabbit hole online.
Exactly. Fans were like, what is Purple Love? Is it an unreleased track?
Yeah, conspiracy theories everywhere.
So we need to put this on the official record, that machine transcription is factually incorrect.
Completely wrong.
The final song performed at the KTF stage was definitively the Goblin OST Beautiful. There was no Purple Love.
No Purple Love. And returning to the actual song she did sing, choosing Beautiful as the closer, is a masterstroke of crowd psychology.
Oh, so?
Well, if we think about how you build a bridge between a foreign artist and a local crowd, ending on a universally recognizable Korean OST is basically an open invitation for communal participation.
Oh, because they all know it.
Right. I mean, Goblin was a cultural phenomenon in the Philippines. It was dubbed in Tagalog. It aired on local networks.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
It is a song that almost anyone with even a passing interest in Korean pop culture knows by heart.
Yeah.
So it turns a solo performance into a massive sing-along.
I completely agree on the emotional impact of the closer. That makes perfect sense. But let's put my analyst hat back on for a second.
Okay, putting that on.
Let's look at the original tracks she played. Losing My Heart, I Want You, and Light Up.
Yeah.
Before this event, one of our working hypotheses was that this trip would serve to activate her original Korean catalog in the Philippine market.
Right.
Based on this set list, I would categorize that hypothesis as partially confirmed.
Wait, partially? Why not fully? 3 out of her 5 songs were original Korean releases.
Because it wasn't a comprehensive catalog showcase.
Oh.
It was a very targeted sample. She intentionally left notable tracks off the table. For example, we didn't hear On My Way. So she proved she isn't just relying on covers to carry a show, which is, well, it's a huge step in artist maturation, obviously.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But she is still heavily filtering her discography to fit a specific event profile. She is activating the catalog, but only the specific slices that serve this diplomatic cultural exchange setting.
Right. And that idea of cultural exchange, this hypothesis we had about her functioning as a bridge artist between Korea and the Philippines, it wasn't just embedded in the music.
No.
No.
Oh.
It was heavily present in the cultural positioning during her onstage interview segments.
Oh, the interviews. How did she handle the bilingual, cross-cultural dynamic on stage? Because the Korea Travel Fiesta is literally designed to sell Korean tourism to Filipinos.
She handled it beautifully, honestly, by focusing on highly relatable sensory contrast.
Give me an example.
Well, the interview leaned heavily into winter travel in Korea. So you have Gwyn, a Filipino artist who grew up in the tropics who has spent the last 2 years grinding in the Korean industry, right?
Yep.
Explaining the harsh realities of freezing temperatures to a Manila audience dealing with, like, intense humidity.
That's quite the juxtaposition.
It really is. And she was joking about how she initially thought winter wasn't for her, and she talked about the absolute non-negotiable necessity of carrying hot packs in your coat pockets.
Oh, yeah, those are lifesavers.
And then she brought up the very specific, almost comedic Korean phenomenon of drinking iced Americanos even when it is literally freezing outside.
Ah, yes, the legendary ah culture, iced Americano in the dead of winter.
Yes,
It's practically a national sport in Seoul.
exactly. And she talked about adapting to Korea's pali or hurry culture, that relentless pace of life and work. But the moment that really struck me as brilliant was how she translated geographical vibes.
What do you mean?
So, to help the Manila crowd intuitively understand what a regional suburban area outside of Seoul feels like, she colloquially compared the Korean city of Ilsan to the Philippine province of Pampanga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is genuinely clever sociolinguistic translation.
It is, right? You map the foreign geography onto the local geography, and it just instantly cuts through the cultural barrier.
It really does. It was this off-the-cuff way to make the distant feel deeply familiar. And throughout all this, the MC was explicitly leaning into this dynamic. The host repeatedly framed Gwyn on the microphone as a living symbol of the Korea-Philippines relationship, essentially presenting her as a cultural ambassador to the crowd.
Okay, I want to put a massive pin in that specific word.
Ambassador.
Ambassador, yes.
Yeah.
During our pre-event analysis, we had a hypothesis that she was leaning into a cultural diplomacy role.
Right.
After watching the KTF stage, I would say that hypothesis is strengthened as an interpretation.
Okay.
The MSc at a Korea Tourism Organization event provided that framing, and her bilingual interactions totally supported it. But we have to be rigorous with our definitions here.
We are observing the MNC's narrative framing. Right. We are not going to invent a formal diplomatic title for her. Gwyn Dorado is not an official mandated ambassador for the Korea Tourism Organization. She holds no formal governmental role.
I hear your analyst alarm bells ringing loudly right now.
They are ringing.
But let's not be too cynical about the reality of how soft power works, you know.
Okay. Fair.
Even without a signed diplomatic treaty or a formal title, she represents that cultural synergy organically. In the eyes of the crowd, she is the bridge, regardless of whether she has an official ID badge that says so.
And I'm not discounting the emotional reality for the fans. I'm really not. I'm simply protecting the factual record.
Understood.
We have to differentiate between an artist sharing her lived experience on a sponsored stage and a formal diplomatic appointment. It's a vital distinction when measuring industry leverage.
Fair enough. The mall stage was about projecting that broad, accessible cultural bridge persona. But let's transition to what happened later that evening.
Yes, the Metro Café.
Because the real test of an artist's magnetism isn't just what happens under the bright lights of a heavily trafficked mall atrium. The real test is what happens when you strip away the ambient mall traffic. And that brings us to the Metro Café fan meetup at Met Live.
The environment completely flips here, from a public broadcast to a closed circuit.
It's a total shift in energy. If the afternoon was about projection, the evening was about intimacy and the psychology of the homecoming.
Right.
For a Filipino audience, the concept of the overseas Filipino worker, someone who leaves home, grinds in a foreign country, and returns successful, is a deeply, deeply emotional narrative.
It's a huge part of the culture.
And Gwyn tapped right into that. She actually joked on the microphone about wanting to enter the venue like a ninja because she was so genuinely shocked and overwhelmed to see a room full of people waiting for her.
Which strips away the polished pop star veneer.
Absolutely.
It's a very grounded, authentic reaction.
It is. And the conversation was rooted entirely in the concept of home and comfort. She talked about craving a bowl of 7-Eleven sopas the minute her flight landed at midnight.
Oh, that is so specific.
Right, and desperately wanting care. But beneath the food cravings and the jokes, she shared a really poignant, vulnerable reflection.
What did she say?
She told the fans that returning home this time, after 2 solid years of building her career from the ground up in Korea, felt fundamentally different. She was coming back with far more confidence in her craft.
You can absolutely see how the overseas industry grinds tempers an artist. When you survive a highly competitive ecosystem like Korea, it changes your posture. Did she give the fans any concrete indications about where that newfound confidence is directing her musically?
She was surprisingly open about her artistic roadmap, actually.
Really?
Yeah, she discussed wanting her next album to feature a noticeably more mature sound, moving past her earlier eras while still maintaining her core sincerity.
Okay, that's interesting.
She also revealed that she's actively learning how to write her own Korean lyrics.
Oh, wow.
Which, if you understand the K-pop machinery, is a massive, incredibly difficult leap for a foreign-born artist to make.
Taking control of the pen in a second language is a huge leverage point.
Huge. And perhaps most exciting for the local fans in the room, she expressed a very strong, specific desire to collaborate with heavy-hitting OPM original Filipino music artists.
Did she name names?
She did. She explicitly named KZ Tandingan, TJ Monterrey, and Juan Carlos as her dream collaborators.
Wow, those are big names.
Yeah. She also promised the crowd she would be returning for more Philippine shows.
Okay, I have to deploy the guardrails again.
Here we go.
Because this is exactly how industry rumors mutate into false expectations online.
Sure.
Everything you just listed, the mature sound of the next album, the timeline for her Korean lyric writing, the dream collaborations with KZ Tandingan, TJ, or Juan Carlos, and her promise to return for future Philippine shows.
Yeah.
These must be strictly, unequivocally categorized as intentions only.
You're saying we can't take them to the bank?
We absolutely cannot. We have to look at the factual, contractual record. As of this moment, there is no confirmed album release date.
Right.
There are 0 official, legally binding collaboration announcements with those OPM artists, and there is no scheduled, ticketed date for a second Philippine show.
Okay, point taken.
We can, and we should, acknowledge her artistic vision and her desires, but we cannot report these as confirmed industry events.
Again, I understand the need for strict data. I do. But stating intent out loud to a room full of superfans is a mechanism for accountability.
How so?
It's the difference between a private vision board and a public promise. She is seeding the market for what comes next.
I agree she is seeding the market, but until the seed grows into a contract, it remains an intention.
Fair.
Which brings us to the most critical and, frankly, the most easily misunderstood data point of the entire night.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
The attendance metric.
Ah, yes. The infamous 500-plus statement.
Yes. Let's break this down meticulously. During the Q&A at Metro Café, Gwyn mentioned on the microphone that she was told 500-plus people had registered for this meetup.
Right.
Now, in the very same breath, she looked around the room and acknowledged that the cafe obviously could not physically hold that many people.
Right. The sheer visual evidence of the venue's square footage immediately contradicts the idea of 500 physical human beings standing in that room. I mean, it's a cafe, not a stadium.
Exactly. But we both know exactly how the internet ecosystem works.
Oh, yeah.
An artist says a number on a microphone, someone tweets it, and within an hour, it becomes the official, undisputed box office record on social media.
Gwyn Dorado sells out 500-seat venue.
Exactly. So we have to strictly differentiate this casual statement from an audited demand figure.
So if we explain this to our listeners who might be marketing their own events, what does a 500-plus registration actually mean if those people aren't in the room?
It is what we call a classic top-of-the-funnel metric. Think of it like casting a giant net into the ocean. 500 people clicking a registration link is the wide part of the net. It is a powerful, highly encouraging demand signal.
It shows interest.
Right.
Yeah.
It tells us that when a link was posted, over 500 digital hands went up to say, "I am interested." But, and this is a structural, foundational but, it is not a verified physical attendance count.
Because clicking a link from your couch is free and takes 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Driving across Metro Manila traffic in the evening requires actual commitment.
Oh, massive commitment. So the registration number does not mean the event sold out because we do not have access to the ticketing parameters or the waitlist mechanics.
We don't know how they structured it.
We don't. And most importantly, it does not confirm that 500 valid, unique attendees were physically present in Pasay City that night.
Right.
We cannot take onstage chatter, no matter how genuinely exciting it is for the artist, and magically transform it into a measured statistical metric for market success.
It's the difference between potential energy and kinetic energy.
I like that.
500 people had potential. Right. We only saw the kinetic energy of the people who actually fit in the room.
Precisely. So we've looked at the KTF public stage and the Metro Café private gathering. Let's look back at 2 of our remaining pre-event hypotheses.
Okay.
We had a theory about a 2-stage conversion funnel, the idea that a public mall appearance drives casual fans to a deeper registered event. How does the tape support that?
I think this is where the data gets incredibly frustrating for analysts like you.
It really does.
Because the structure of the funnel is undoubtedly completed. We have verified that a public stage and a registered meetup occurred on the exact same day in the exact same city.
Yes.
But the actual conversion, the proof that the funnel worked, is entirely unproven.
Why?
Because we simply lack the cross-event attendee overlap data. We have absolutely no way of knowing how many people who saw her sing at the mall at 4 p.m. then crossed town to show up at the cafe at 8 p.m.
Spot on. We can see the plumbing of the funnel, but we have no instruments to measure if any water actually flowed through it.
Great analogy.
We also had a hypothesis that her recent Korean success was actively producing new Philippine demand.
And again, we have a stronger demand signal here. The physical gathering occurred, the fans were highly interactive, and we have that reported 500-plus registration number, which shows digital interest.
Right.
Furthermore, we know she successfully completed a Manila appearance earlier in March of 2026, and now this one in August of 2026.
Which strengthens the hypothesis that she is building a recurring Philippine activation strategy.
Definitely.
But the core issue remains, right? Demand signals are not the same thing as sustained market conversion. Which brings us to the most glaring piece of missing evidence in this entire assessment.
Missing evidence.
Because when you look at the footage, there is an undeniable visceral energy. The fans are clearly there, and they are passionate.
And we shouldn't downplay that. What is genuinely fascinating here is the sheer velocity of the fan advocacy.
Explain what you mean by velocity here.
We are talking about a remarkably dedicated, highly organized street team of supporters. High-quality, multi-angle fan uploads of both the KTF stage and the Metro Café meetup were appearing online within mere hours of the event's concluding.
It was incredibly fast.
It wasn't passive consumption where people just clapped and went home.
Yeah.
The crowd gathered, they cheered, they engaged deeply in the Q&A, and then they immediately went to work publishing content to amplify her reach across social platforms. That is verified. Undeniable participation.
It is verified participation. And as an analyst, I have to be the one to throw a bucket of ice water on that fire.
Oh, here we go.
We have verified participation, we have racket enthusiastic advocacy, but retention and actual market conversion remain completely, utterly unproven by the events of August 23 alone.
Okay, but isn't participation the first step?
It is the first step, but the true test of a modern music artist isn't just showing up to a mall and having a dedicated group of super fans film you. Anyone with a street team can artificially generate the visual look of success for an afternoon.
Wow. I mean, it adds to the difference between throwing a great party and building a sustainable business.
Exactly. The ultimate test is what happens the next morning.
Right. And this raises the most important question for anyone listening who wants to understand how the industry actually measures success. How do we define that post-event conversion? Because it's not just about counting the YouTube views on those fan-uploaded videos from the mall, is it?
Not at all. In fact, raw YouTube views on fan channel uploads are often nothing more than an echo chamber.
How so?
It are the same 500 dedicated fans watching the same video 10 times each to inflate the numbers.
Oh, I see.
That does not grow the market. It just exercises the existing fans.
Right. It's preaching to the choir.
Exactly. So to prove that August 23 actually expanded her footprint, we need a rigorous measurement framework over the coming days. I call it the velocity test.
Okay, let's unpack this velocity test. If I am an independent artist or a label manager, what are the specific metrics I need to pull and in what specific order of importance?
First, you establish a strict baseline. You pull your data from day -7 to day -1 before the August 23rd event.
Because you need to know what normal is.
You need to know what your normal looks like. Then you check the data at day +1, day +3, day +7, day +14, and finally, day +28.
Okay, so it's a month-long tracking period.
Yes, and you evaluate 5 distinct metrics in a very exact priority order.
So what is the absolute highest priority? Number 1.
Priority 1, Philippine catalog streams, unique listeners, saves, and artist follows on digital streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music.
Why is that number 1?
Because we need to know if the people who heard Losing My Heart or I Want You at the mall actually went home, pulled out their phones, and actively searched for the studio versions.
And a save is particularly important, right? Because a stream can be passive, but a save requires intent.
Exactly. Let's explain the algorithm for a second. If you just stream a song once, the algorithm notes it. But if you hit save or add it to a personal playlist, you are signaling to the digital librarian that you want this integrated into your daily life. It triggers algorithmic push to other similar listeners. That is the ultimate, undeniable proof of musical conversion.
Okay, that makes total sense. So what is priority number 2?
Second priority, returning audience. This is where those day +7 and day +28 checks become absolutely vital.
Why those specific days?
Hey, did the mall goers stream the song once out of sheer curiosity on the drive home, or are they still listening a week later? Are they still listening a month later?
Oh, because day 28 is when they become a monthly active user on Spotify.
Bingo! You're looking for habit formation, not just a temporary spike in curiosity because they saw celebrity in a mall.
Precisely. Okay, third priority.
Third priority, unique fan creator and post velocity. We already know her existing hardcore fan base uploaded videos quickly,
Right, the street team.
but we need to scan TikTok and Instagram Reels for new, unique creators. Did the mall event cause someone who had never heard of Gwyn Dorado before to point their phone at the stage and post a video to their own followers? That is how you break out of the established echo chamber and reach new network nodes.
Right. You need the casuals to become advocates.
Exactly.
What's the fourth metric?
Fourth, search and profile discovery. We need to look at Google Trends and platform search bar data.
Like typing your name into Spotify.
Right. Did the event create a measurable spike in people actively typing Gwyn Dorado or Gwyn Dorado Sing Again 4 into search bars? That proves the event-generated discovery momentum that extended beyond the people who were physically standing in the venue in Pasay City.
Because they heard about it when looking.
Yes.
Okay, and the fifth and final metric on the velocity test.
Last, and frankly the least important metric for proving true market conversion public video views on those fan-uploaded performance clips.
The YouTube views.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, those views track participation and immediate hype, but they are a terrible, easily manipulated proxy for retained, sustained paying listeners.
It's a brilliantly ruthless framework, honestly.
It has to be.
It completely strips away the emotion, the screaming, and the noise of the live event, and it forces us to look at the cold, hard behavioral data of the audience.
Because in this industry, the data is the only thing that pays the bills.
Yeah.
And it really makes you wonder about the broader pop ecosystems.
How so?
Well, if an artist can artificially generate the look of immense success with a few hundred highly organized superfans at a mall, how many of the supposedly sold-out tours and viral moments we see on our social media feeds every day are actually profitable, sustainable businesses, and how many are just elaborate, incredibly expensive marketing illusions?
Wow, that is the question, isn't it?
It is. Ultimately, August 23 proved that people would gather, watch, register, and publish. The remaining test is whether they will keep listening after the event is over.